The story of the Easter lily is really interesting because they're not native to the United States. They're actually native to a southern archipelago over in Japan. From Japan, they made their way over to Great Britain. From there, eventually to Bermuda. At one point, they were known as the Bermuda lily, apparently. During World War I, a U.S. soldier took some bulbs of these lilies and brought them back to where he was from, which is the California, Oregon region, gave him to some friends, and that region just kind of became the lily capital of the United States. During World War II, with the Pacific Theater and war, lily production and import from Japan to the United States pretty much ceased, and so at that point, production in the U.S. just sort of exploded. One really interesting fact about the Easter lilies is that when you plant the bulb, they are supposed to be in the ground for 3 years before that first bloom comes up. In the Bible, we have imagery of the lilies, imagery of flowers, imagery of gardens, kind of all over the place. In the very beginning, we have the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, and they eat the fruit that they're not supposed to, and we suffer the consequences, so we've kind of been living in exile from God ever since. And in the resurrection story, there is garden imagery as well. A lot of times we don't know this. We think about Jesus' tomb as being in sort of this really rocky, kind of barren land, but the Gospel of John tells us that Joseph of Arimathea, he cut out what was essentially a brand new tomb in the rock, and it was in this garden area. And so in a sense, Jesus' body was planted in that tomb on Good Friday, and then 3 days later, it was resurrected. He was raised to life, and he bloomed anew. Then this is what happens here is even more than that. It's actually a reversal of Eden, because in Eden, Adam and Eve, they ate the fruit and they spoiled everything. But here now we have Jesus crushing the head of the serpent. So I think a good image to think about with this whole Easter thing and the lilies is you picture a dead corpse of a snake or a dragon. This is Satan. Satan is referred to as a dragon in the book of Revelation. And then out of the head of this dead corpse, you have a beautiful flower, a beautiful lily emerging, showing us that life and not death gets the final word and that Jesus wins the ultimate victory. So there's a passage I want to read to you from Matthew 6, verses 28 to 29. It says, "And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith?" Man, the lilies, they preach to us. They preach to us about the God who provides abundantly and the God who brings life out of death. And in the midst of hopelessness and despair, he brings hope and he brings a sure promise of eternal life. The lilies, they had this nickname for a long time. They were referred to as white-robed apostles of hope. Isn't that good? White-robed apostles of hope. So my hope and my prayer for you this Easter season is that you look to the lilies and you have your eyes and your ears open to the message, to the sermon that the lilies want to preach to you, these white-robed apostles of hope.